Alright, so here are the official April to May promos. I'll be discussing each and including a deck list. The ones that I got from friends are credited in the description below, huge shout out to them, and feel free to use these as references for Dare Days 2. We have 6 brand new promos supporting Gramgrace, Rotovisor, Clarissa, Khotiblaze, and Bruce, including 3 reprints. The reprints are the Shadow Paladin Perfect Guard Dragsaver Ezra's, as well as the orders for the Chronojet and Messiah deck set, which I'll discuss after the new promos at the end. So the most hyped promo is the Gramgrace one, Soaring/Knight Esmery. It's an upgrade from the old Grade 3 promo, Fabrinio, that was reprinted in Triple Drive and the Gramgrace deck set. The card has the act and drop to Energy Blast 3 and call itself from drop to a rearguard circle. Its auto is when it attacks a Vanguard, you can choose one of your Vanguards with Gramgrace in its card name and give it plus 5k. And if it's attacking from the back row center, you can cost Counterblast 1 to give plus 5k and drive plus 1 instead of just the plus 5k. The biggest upgrade is that you don't need to discard and Soul Blast 1 for cost, like Fabrinio, saving you hand while also giving you a play to gain drive plus 1 going first, as the drive gain ability isn't restricted by your opponent's grade. There's a little bit of synergy lost from Wayward Angel, but it still works well for riding up to grade 3, and on turns where you would rather use Fabrinio over Esmery. Here's a sample deck list. Your Counterblast in Gramgrace was pretty much going to Caterpillar generics like Veltros or Aspronia to make a board, or your biggest beater Dyphon, which gets plus 15k power for CB1. Esmery uses 3 energy, making Gramgrace very energy efficient, as its new form from set 6 uses energy to give the Vanguard and middle column unit crit plus 1. So between using Gramgrace's skill every turn and Esmery's EV3 every now and then, using up all your energy every turn. There's great synergy between Esmery and Aspronia because you can counterblast 1, call it back if you don't have the energy after using Gramgrace's skill. Aspronia can also be used to call back Fabrinio and other powerful beaters like Dyphon during your kill turn. The other Keter generics you'll see is Kleigel because you're running a lot of grade 3s, including Forbiddle that you can grab from deck, the Keter Cat Toll Pass to check top 5 and call a unit, or the grade 1 Maple to have a 23k booster on your Persona Return that recurs itself. I personally dislike how it encourages using the expensive festival cards like Aspronia, but honestly you can play Latched, Kyber, or other budget Keter generics, and the deck is still functional and fun. I'm making a quick interruption to say please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for supporting, and shout out to all the people that made this possible again. The next promo is Elrich Jawinner, which is the Arena/Rotovisor support. The card is a grade 1 with the auto on place to counterblast 1, search your deck for up to 1 arena card, reveal it and put it to your hand and shuffle the deck. If your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater and an arena was not put into your order zone this turn, you can choose an arena card from your hand and put it directly into the order zone. It also has a continuous in the back row rearguard circle that if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard Rotovisor in its card name, it gets plus 2k, and other rearguards in the same calling as its unit cannot be retired by opponent's card effects. This card is a massive upgrade to the deck along with the new grade 3 Turban Rotovisor from DC set 5. While burning a CB is still costly for the Rotovisor deck, you can now set up 3 arenas turn 3 going second if you use its auto before playing an order for turn, as you'll get one from riding from grade 1 to grade 2, play the arena turn 2, and then once you ride up to grade 3, use this promo skill, and then play another arena that you had to hard mulligan for or hard draw. Robot fans can rejoice now as Rotovisor's continuous Vanguard circle of plus 5k to front row will be active, allowing the deck to play catch up, scaling over defenses when going second potentially. The anti-retire continuous is also useful for matchups where you want to keep your front row attackers for next turn, and the 10k boost of course helps you hit over defenses. You'll most likely still Bubble Mine or other on command CC, but this promo is a definite for the Rotovisor deck. So here's a deck list from JB Players that I'll link below. Fire Reckless helps thin the deck, and since it removes itself, you can use it the same turn you played in Arena order. Combine Rusher is a recurring attacker, even though the deck will get its own version later in set 8. The list also play Energy Cycler Pansmeria to keep your hand early, and Baldery to thin the deck and add grade 2 or graders, which are most of your attackers in the deck. It's a solid rundown of good Brandgate generics. The idea in the second deck list is a lot more budget friendly, playing 4 Compassionate Mechanic to farm hand turn 3 using energy, along with Pelika Express, a blitz order that can return set orders. The really cool thing in this deck list is it uses Alice Gunner Held to buff Vanguard by plus 5k after retiring itself in a battle, making your front row lines a lot more even, as well as Courteous Support to salvage arenas from damage or drop. So Clarissa aka Lyrical Brawlers finally got a brand new promo, and thank goodness it's Earnescorrect name, and it's called Ortimo. So auto on place rearguard circle, if you have a Vanguard with Clarissa in its card name, you can Energy Blast 3 and perform one of the following. You either choose a grade 2 or less with Earnescorrect in its card name, with a different name from this unit you drop, and call to rearguard circle as Rest, or the other effect, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Clarissa, you can choose and aim to be the strongest idol, or grade 2 or less with Earnescorrect in its card name different from this unit from your drop, and add it to your hand. So unfortunately, you don't get both an order and a unit. So thank goodness it adds cards to hand, because cards like Evelyn only work when placed on rearguard circle of hand, and Acela, which activates the restand effect, also activates in hand. Lastly, you have the auto rearguard circle once per turn. When you play aim to be the strongest idol, all of your units in the same column get plus 5k until end of turn. It's honestly a much needed addition to the deck, but as a local friend told me, there's not too much competition among Earnescorrect anyways, and most of Clarissa's cards are card name locked anyways. It's really strange in my opinion that this promo is nerfed, as if you attempt to use this turn 2, which you likely will because the Clarissa Rideline can tutor it, you have to call the unit as Rest, so you can't rush and build a board with the first skill. Calling it in the first place turn 2 is already clashing with the grade 2 Rideline Clarissa's continuous, as you lose out on her plus 5k since you have rear guards. Although turn 3 when you are grade 3 or greater Clarissa, salvaging any of your named pieces, which is basically your entire deck, is fantastic. So here's an example deck list. Playing an Earnescorrect rear for the turn while salvaging an order from drop is also really helpful in case you didn't find Persona Ride because Dress Up Clarissa searches the order. Also to note for the skill, it buffs all units in the same column, so theoretically you could give it boost, let's say through the Festival Order package, and give plus 5k to Vanguard. Otherwise it's giving a boost star recenter in the same column plus 5k. It's nice because a lot of Earnescorrect cards don't plus Border Hand, so definitely pick up 4 if you want to play Clarissa. The idea of the deck list is to keep grinding and playing control by attacking rearguards an opponent at the same time, using the restander abilities only on push turns when your opponent's at high damage. Your other option is to play 1-2 of Piresso, which is the PG garbage strict if your opponent has no rearguards on board. This is really helpful in a meta where your opponent is already clearing their own board, or if they try to play around Clarissa's skill that attacks multiple rearguard circles. So next up is Incinerate Dragon, which is a definite much needed addition for the Khotiblaze deck in English, because we still don't have the Youthquake Blazing Warcry promo. This card is a grade 1 booster for Khotiblaze that on place you can reveal grade 3 Khotiblaze from your ride deck. If you revealed it or have a grade 3 greater Vanguard with Khotiblaze, you can look at the top 7, choose up to 1 grade 2 or less and put it into Soul and shuffle the deck. Then at the beginning of your attack phase, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Khotiblaze, you EB3 choose one of your Vanguards and that unit and this unit get plus 5k until end of turn. And at the end of the turn, put this unit into Soul and draw a card. So in case you don't know Khotiblaze's gimmick, he powers up and restands units that have the same name in rearguard circle and Soul, as well as being able to restand himself, adding more value to the plus 5k to Vanguard, which can stack if you have multiple of the promo. Unfortunately, this new promo cannot add a grade 3 into Soul, which is unfortunate because it would be very easy to set the Vanguard restand, which you still have to play and wait until turn 5 to do. That's why this list from Frank is using Defensing Roar. Defensing Roar helps you grab back key attackers and the Overtrigger or Fall Hard to reuse again to guard with, helping you prolong the game until you can use both the Restand Rear and Vanguard skill in the same turn. We might need a different roar though, a Blazing Warcry even, but the promo is still early deck thin, and once you get to grade 3, this card is refunding itself as you draw 1, making your Vanguard in itself bigger, letting it be a solo attacker or solid 13k booster for the deck. There's also this other version of the deck using a cute dragon where you can rush really early and kind of run down your opponent. If you're a Khotiblaze fan, you are already buying 4, but I pray for Blazing Warcry to come to English soon. So Bruce got a brand new promo that was revealed in a JP livestream a long time ago, so here is Diablos Boys Hines. And it's the on place that if you have a Vanguard with Diablos in its card name, you choose up to 1 card with Diablos in its card name for your drop and put it into Soul. If you put a card, this unit gets plus 5k until end of turn, and at the end of that turn, retire this unit. If your opponent's Vanguard's grade 3 or greater, it gets plus 10k instead of plus 5. His other skill is that when he's retired from a card's ability during your turn, basically activating himself, if you're in Final Rush and you did not countercharge this turn, Soul Blast 1 and countercharge 1. He's a solid addition to the Diablos roster as a countercharger, but his timing is awkward because he's not activating it until end of turn. You normally want countercharge during main phase, which grade 4 Bruce and Vehemence would have really liked. Also, this card is competing for space with your really good pieces that either build a board or refund themselves, which Hines doesn't. Here's a sample deck list. As usual for Vehemence, much of your deck including triggers are Diablos units. Now some lists might play a few, and this list is playing 4, but I would say to get around 3 or a playset, because it's easy to cut for other units to make deck space for. Soul isn't a massive issue, but it helps to be a reoccurring piece, so you can call him again off Jamil or Julian, for example. And you also can't forget the best combo piece in early game card Olindo, which can also put itself to Soul or call itself. The Megacolony Battler plus Type N is a generic that has synergy with the previous Battler type promo such as Type C. When Type N is discarded from deck or hand other than during the battle phase, if you have a unit with Megacolony Battler in its card name, you can Energy Blast 3 and call this to Rearguard Circle. At the beginning of your battle phase, you choose up to 1 of your rearguards for every total 4 cards with Megacolony Battler in its card name on your rearguard circle and drop, and then it gets boost until end of turn. It doesn't mill unfortunately on call to support Type C and doesn't give power either sadly, but when milled out of deck by Type C or ditched for ride deck for a cost, it can call itself out if you have a Battler on your field. They're mainly found in Circaia decks that can run many orders and still have Vanguard skills that carry the deck, mainly Magnolia and Levy. There's always orders to mill these kind of cards such as Frozen Resentment and Wild Intelligence, increasing the amount of Battlers you have on board and in drop to reach numbers that hit over defensive triggers. Alright, so now to cover the reprints. We have Ezra's, which is a great reprint. It's a Keter Sanctuary Effect Perfect Guard, which has already been a thing, but this one makes specifically Undercover and a lot more other decks accessible, because these were really expensive as you could only get them previously in the Luard Stride deck set. You play this because Dara, the Undercover grade 2 unit from TZ set 3, can add this to hand off top 5. The decks that mainly use this are Undercover, Luard obviously, and Phantom Blaster Overlord, as they meet the condition of Dara's Tech Chop 5 to add combo cards or perfect guards to hand. Getting a perfect guard early is always good. At worst, it's giving you another combo card for a counter blast. The problem is that Dara hasn't been reprinted and likely won't, as it's a DZ set 3 triple rare, but maybe we can wait for Festival 2025 or future sets to see. Prelude of Genesis is a great reprint for Messiah. It's key for assembling combo pieces to call either Arrestor or sacrifice Messiah back from drop to have more cards unlocked at end of turn, so you're drawing even more from Messiah's GB2. It can also help you in scenarios where you start the turn with no counterblast and have to ditch this to either reduce your own Vanguard's hard ability or stride ability by counterblast 1. So for example, if you use Pansemeria to counterblast draw 1 because you were out of energy, Discarded this order for Stride, you could reduce Messiah's Stride skill to 0 CB, and then sacrifice will countercharge so you'll have 1 CB for Vanguard's CB1 G-flip cost. It's overall just a solid card you'll see in many Messiah lists, at least at 1. Unfortunately for Gears, there's not much to say about this promo. I personally dislike it because of deck space. You really want to grade the normal unit to call off upstream Chronos Command combo. So in case you didn't know, you can use Chronos Command's GB2 to give the red tech skill to upstream, and then activate upstream skill first to call a grade 1, then have Chronos Command skill on standby to do as much as possible, calling a grade 3 from deck, allowing you to reset a column. Its main use is to put back OT or Heals from Soul back to deck to call upstream or other cards. You can make Balam's GB2, Steam Breast GB3, or upstream's GB1 active while you're on grade 3. Dark States just has so many other early game cards such as Phila from the Skyrare promo that aren't 0 shields and can help you early game to go through your deck. So usually you won't see this in list, but it's usable at like 1 or 2. Alright, so that wraps up the promos for April to May. Sorry that this took so long, and shout out to all the friends who helped with the deck list. I will attempt to do another one and hopefully not take a month to produce it. So if you do want to see more of these, please like and subscribe.